My wife silently cheated on vacation, then ended our marriage saying she was too far gone. I am 3.5 weeks past finding out my wife cheated. I, 28M, was working abroad for 7 months while my wife, 27F, stayed back at our apartment. She works full-time and goes to grad school at night. I got 3 weeks off and planned a European vacation for us. My wife would meet me during her spring break, and then I would go back to work and she would return home. On the first day when I picked her up from the airport, with a rose in hand, she seemed a little distant, and I attributed that to jet lag. Throughout the day, things seemed mostly normal. At lunch, she ordered fish. She is a strict vegetarian, and that really threw me off, but figured she wanted to enjoy the coastal cuisine. Later in the day, I made a comment about having kids, and she said something to the effect of, "We have some problems to sort out before we have kids." I was pretty shocked by this statement because we had been talking about having kids as soon as I got back from my 1-year work assignment abroad. We had been having these discussions within the last several weeks. I kinda attributed the comment to jet lag, and we went to the hotel to take a nap. After the nap, I brought up the comment about the kids. This led to a long discussion about how she finds some of my behaviors emotionally abusive. This is a conversation we have had before and even enrolled in DIY Gottman therapy. In the past, I have reacted negatively to the term emotional abuse, because even by her own admission, my behaviors are not intent to cause her any harm. It is more of a communication style issue. She went into the details of what she considers emotionally abusive, which are 1. Excessive concern for her in social situations where I am not at. She got blackout drunk at a coworker party once, and I have been worried about her since then, but I wouldn't be overbearing. 2. Talking down and being short with her. 3. Judging her. I really don't, she just thinks I do. 4. Concern about how she spends her money. She has concealed thousands I purchases from me, and our finances are completely combined. In therapy now and talking to friends, the emotional abuse accusation seems to be more of a distraction, but I really bought it hook, line, and sinker at this point. I listened to all of what she had to say, and I validated her feelings because I could see she was upset, and I said, "Even if I didn't intend to hurt you, I never want you to feel that way." I said I would come home and cancel the trip to work on the marriage and evaluate if I should cancel the rest of my assignment overseas. At this point, she began breaking down, and then the words that are still haunting me came out of her mouth. "I cheated on you." I literally could not believe. I have been with her for 8 years. I trusted her with my life, and this is completely out of character. I pressed for details, and she said she got drunk at a grad school happy hour and met a guy named John and went to his apartment and had sex with him. She gave me a lot of I don't knows and couldn't give me a date. She assured me multiple times that it was one time, she doesn't know the guy, and never talked to him again. I believed her. I threw up. I cried. I had what felt like a panic attack. My life was completely flipped upside down. I eventually calmed down, and my wife and I talked, and I forgave her and expressed a desire to move forward. We decided we would finish the week in Europe, and I would return to the States with her and cancel my work assignment abroad to work on the marriage. The week in Europe was great. We had so many deep conversations about life and our future and our past. We had amazing sex like 3 times every day, Google hysterical bonding. We took selfies kissing, we talked about having kids, we made future plans. Once we got back home, it's like a switch flipped. We had marriage counseling scheduled for 2 days after I got back. The day before the counseling, my wife broke down to me and told me she was 100% done with the relationship and said she was too far gone. I reassured her that it's okay to have these feelings and let's get to the counselor. At the counselor, they told my wife it appears she is in flight mode and told her to give it 2 weeks before deciding if she wants to leave. She agreed, and we also agreed to give each other space while we both went to individual therapy. That lasted less than 24 hours. The next day, she was even more distant. She was guarding her phone very strangely and texting constantly. I assumed she was planning her exit from the apartment with family. I found a journal entry which she left out in the open with plans to get lawyer and get apartment. At that point, I realized it was done. I called my parents, and they were insistent there must be more to the story, like another guy in the picture. I was adamant that was not the case. There was no way my wife could lie to me like that, especially during such emotional, deep conversations. She leaves the apartment that night. On the way out, she cries and tells me she never wanted to hurt me. I am confused and sad. She goes to a female co-worker's house out of town for the weekend. She breaks the news to our mutual friends who are all just as confused as me. By Saturday, I am starting to process the situation. But I remember my parents' concern about another guy in the picture. Out of due diligence, I check the phone records. Over 2,000 messages in less than a week and 65-minute phone call with a male coworker. All at night. I start to panic. I eventually am able to see her location history. She goes to his apartment multiple times overnight a week before the vacation. I find social media messages between them. She is messaging about how much she enjoyed fucking him while she was sitting next to me on the couch, the day she was guarding her phone. My heart drops. I feel sick. I feel like such an idiot for being manipulated by her. I feel like I don't even know who this person is. I confront her, and all she can manage is, "I didn't want to hurt you." She still hasn't given me any answer as to how this happened. She told no one, not her friends, her parents. And she made it seem completely normal to me while she was fucking this other guy. She then signs a lease in his apartment, building a city over, and moves out a week after I find out. Moving her stuff out, she is cold and is nothing like the person I know. I am struggling right now with the lack of closure. When did she check out of the marriage? Were there other affairs? Why not just leave if you are unhappy? I am in therapy, on medication, and trying to work on myself, but it is hard. I have no appetite, can't sleep, and have constant thoughts about the affair and my wife. And the sad thing is all I want is the person I loved, my wife, back. The loneliness is hitting hard right now.